After Xiao Yan rescued Yao Lao, why didn't he immediately hand Han Feng over to him? Why did he wait until after marrying Medusa before doing so? It was only at the moment when Xiao Yan and Medusa knelt down that one could truly understand how deeply affectionate and righteous Brother Yan really was. Yao Lao had lived for several centuries. His life experience and wisdom were by no means inferior to Xiao Yan's. Yet there were two events that left indelible scars in his heart. One was the disappearance of his teacher, Han Shan, the person who had helped him obtain the bone-chilling flame. Ever since Han Shan went missing, Yao Chen seemed to have become a completely different person each day. He did nothing but refine pills and stare blankly into space. Although Yao Chen held feelings for Xuan, the precious pearl of the pill tower, and for Princess Hu Juju of the Demon Valley, he could never bring himself to open his heart to either of them. The disappearance of Han Shan on the frozen plains had left a void within him, a memory he could not fully recall nor let go of. Unable to accept the affection of Xuan Yi or Hu Juju Yao, Chen remained emotionally distant, never showing any sign of attachment toward either woman. Han Shan's master, Xiao Ho, once entrusted Yao Che with a handbook, urging him to make good use of the influence of the Holy Pill City, to take the initiative in searching for Han Shan, to find Han Shan and at the same time to prove his own worth to the Yao clan. Yao Chen declined the assistance of the Pill Tower, left the Little Pill Tower, and, together with Feng Nian, established the Falling Star Pavilion with a few trusted Dou kings as its core members. Although Yao Chen was the nominal leader of the pavilion, it was Feng Nian who truly handled its operations and administration. Meanwhile, Yao Chen continued to search across the continent for Han Shan, occasionally sending a few medicinal pills to the pavilion's contact points as a sign of his safety. 10 years later, the Falling Star Pavilion had grown into a colossal power within the Central Plains, with informants and agents spread throughout every corner of the continent. Thanks to Yao Chen's reputation as the #1 alchemist of the Central Plains, along with Feng Nian's skilled leadership and subtle strategies, the pavilion flourished, becoming so formidable that even the heavenly venerates of the Hall of Souls were cautious of making any move against it. Under Yao Chen's guidance, the Falling Star Pavilion settled within the natural grand formation of the Heavenly Star Mountain Range, bringing unprecedented prosperity and influence to the Central Plains. Many local clans and sects that allied themselves with the pavilion gradually rose to become dominant powers within their respective regions. The other was his own disciple who betrayed and stabbed him in the back, Han Feng. Although the nature of these two events was somewhat similar, the pain they caused was vastly different. One was regret and the other was betrayal. For that brat Han Feng, Yao Lao had poured in all his resources and effort to nurture him. To Yao Lao, the ceremony of taking a disciple was no different from adopting a child. However, Han Feng's background was very different from Xiao Yan's. He was an orphan living amidst the chaos of war. Yao Lao saw in him extraordinary talent and great potential for cultivation. Moreover, since the boy had neither father nor mother and lived a pitiful life, Yao Lao found him strikingly similar to his own past. When Yao Lao was young, he had been expelled from the Yao clan, and a few years later, both his parents passed away. Thus he knew all too well the pain of living without any kin. That was why he chose to take Han Feng in as his disciple. But who could have imagined that, all because of the flame mantra, Han Feng would choose to poison Yao Lao, and even ally with Elder Mugu to lead the Hall of Souls in besieging him. Although Yao Lao was heavily poisoned and stabbed by Han Feng, as a peak 9-turn Dou venerate, he could have easily reversed the situation and slain his treacherous disciple. However, Yao Lao did not do so simply because he was too kind-hearted, unable to deliver the fatal blow. Afterward, as a mere soul body, Yao Lao could only silently bear the pain, licking his wounds alone for countless years. Even after his resurrection, that wound never truly healed. What he did not know was that his second disciple, Xiao Yan, would one day fulfill that wish on his behalf. After rescuing Yao Lao, the reason Xiao Yan did not immediately hand Han Feng over was because he barely had any time to even think about it. From the moment Yao Lao returned to the Falling Star Pavilion, time seemed to accelerate. Xiao Yan first ventured into the ancient ruins to find the soul infant fruit for Yao Lao in order to restore his original soul energy. After all, Yao Lao had been tormented by the Hall of Souls for so many years. The fact that his soul had not been completely destroyed was already a miracle. That was why Xiao Yan hurriedly searched for the soul infant fruit. fearing that Yao Lao might face another accident because of his weakened state. After obtaining the soul infant fruit, Xiao Yan hurried back and immediately began working to resurrect Yao Lao. At that time, the Falling Star Pavilion was facing tremendous danger. Xiao Yan and Yao Chen had offended the Hall of Souls too deeply by destroying one of the hall's branch halls, something no one had ever dared to do since ancient times. Xiao Yan had effectively sealed the pavilion's fate. The Hall of Souls attack was inevitable. It was only a matter of time. Thus Xiao Yan anxiously and hastily carried out Yao Lao's resurrection, completely forgetting about that brat Han Feng. Once Yao Lao was revived, another great battle immediately broke out. Before Xiao Yan even had a moment to recall Han Feng's existence, news arrived Yun had fallen into trouble. Upon hearing that his woman was being targeted, Xiao Yan grew anxious and instantly left the pavilion, after resolving the matter involving the flower sect. He then journeyed to the ancient Dragon Island, a trip that cost him nearly half a year. When he finally returned to the Falling Star Pavilion, he hadn't even settled down before receiving an invitation from the Gu clan. Xiao Yan quickly set off again, taking Tianhuo Zunjie and several others along. At the Gu clan, he met his father-in-law and engaged in a fierce battle with Gu Yao. Afterward, he entered the heavenly tomb, met with Xiao Xuan, and exchanged bloodlines before entering seclusion for another year. When he finally emerged, he successfully broke through to become an 8-star Du Venerate. Overjoyed, Xiao Yan immediately went to find Yao Lao. Yet before he could even step through the door, shocking news arrived. Medusa was in danger. It was truly exasperating. Every time Xiao Yan returned to the Falling Star Pavilion, one of his wives inevitably ran into trouble. The first time it was Qing Lin, after staying just 2 days. Yun had an accident. The next return involved matters concerning the pill tower. And this time, Medusa was the one in danger. The pavilion truly seemed incapable of staying peaceful. Once again, Xiao Yan hurried off this time to the Zhuanhuang Fortress, where he fought against the 9 Nether Heavenly Venerate. After rescuing Medusa and reuniting with his wife and child, Xiao Yan finally found a brief moment of peace. Only then did he remember Han Feng and realize that this was the greatest emotional scar lingering within Yao Lao's heart. Therefore, Xiao Yan brought Medusa and Xiao Xiao with him to the Falling Star Pavilion, where they knelt before Yao Lao to pay their respects. Seizing this opportunity, Xiao Yan handed over Han Feng's soul to Yao Lao. As for how Yao Lao would deal with it, that was unimportant to Xiao Yan. What mattered was helping his master erase the lingering wound within his heart, and Yao Yan had accomplished that. Watching Xiao Yan perform such a solemn and heartfelt bow, the once clouded eyes of Yao Lao gradually cleared. He could no longer hold back his tears. Having such an outstanding disciple like Xiao Yan, what need was there to dwell on the past? With a disciple like him, this lifetime was already enough. At that moment, Yao Lao finally let go of all resentment toward Han Feng. Silently, he placed the jade bottle containing Han Feng's soul into his sleeve. As for how Han Feng would be dealt with, that was now entirely Yao Lao's own matter.